At the dirt course nestled in a river valley between two mesas, the 2017 Colorado ZR2 handlers are praying for rain. Two trucks are out there, circling the long sweepers, whoops, and silt pans, transforming the track surface under the tires into thick veils of airborne dust. The meaty 31-inch Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac tires are churning like those old-timey steam shovels, but instead of grinding through to a payday of ore, we're turning the surface of the track into laughs in dust plumes. Brent Deep, the development engineer for the ZR2 who's sitting in the right seat, tells me all the guys will be doing a rain dance tonight. I watch one last ZR2 go 4 wheels up over the main event on the front straight, and thick balls of rain, drops wouldn't do 'em justice, they're really mostly melted hail, start slamming into the ground, the corrugated roof of the rustic hospitality shed, the steel of the trucks. Thunder drifts through the valley. This is good news for the thirsty plants of an unexpectedly green western Colorado, and better news for us. The rain will erase the ruts our trucks clawed out, and it should be smooth sailing for the next group. The high-speed stuff puts the ZR2's main party trick on display: Multimatic developed, specialized dynamic suspensions spool valve, DSSV, shocks. The spool valve's theoretical simplicity belies the complicated knowledge of fluid dynamics necessary to understand its intricacies. The short version is that oil is forced, progressively, through an irregularly shaped orifice. As the smaller end of the port is exposed, fluid pressure is high. As the rest of the port is exposed, pressure is reduced. Changing the shape of the orifice changes the damping curve. Since the ZR2 has a total of 3 spool valves, one for compression, one for rebound, and a third one that helps control damping during large compression events, there's a massive degree of customization of the damping curve throughout the stroke of the piston. Why didn't Chevy turn to a technology like MagneRide? As Multimatic senior product engineer David Meyer explained to me, the response rate of the magnetorheological fluid is quick enough over the small travel ranges of a road-going shock. But adapting the technology to a very long travel application like the ZR2 would involve a ton of fluid, think huge external reservoirs, and tons of heat, and the MagneRide system is sensitive to heat. Basically, it's unworkable for this application. Cool, so the DSSV shocks are an engineer's fantasy, but what are they like on the road? If you were imagining Raptor-like trophy truck float, the relative firmness of the ZR2's DSSV shocks will be a surprise. It's much more like the normal Colorado, perhaps a tad stiffer and 2 inches taller than a Z71. So it handles a winding 2-lane highway in some far-flung canyon Colorado, just fine. For a truck. It's no sports car, but it's enjoyable to hustle if you'd like to or need to. There's a noticeable softening when the suspension compresses beyond the point at which it picks up the third spool valve, which Multimatic calls position-sensitive damping, so it'll absorb a pothole on pavement mid-turn without being overly harsh or bouncing the truck off its line. Chevy and Multimatic weren't talking replacement cost yet, but reps from both outfits assured me that the DSSV shocks have to pass the same tests as standard shocks. They insinuated the spool valve units would last about as long as any OEM shock, and they certainly stress-tested the units a lot, so time will tell. While the shocks are the headliner for anyone interested in this truck's capabilities, Chevy's also used the exterior of the ZR2 to communicate this truck's intentions. The hood scoop is aggressive and attractive, for starters. Up front, the deeply cut-away front bumper reveals a lot of tread from a head-on view. Thick aluminum skid plates curl up from underneath and run into the